At 67 years old, Ellen DeGeneres finds herself in the midst of a tragedy that few could have predicted during the height of her career. For decades, Ellen was celebrated as the queen of daytime television, a woman who seemed to embody kindness, humor, and generosity. Her talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, ran for nearly 20 years and became one of the most successful programs in television history. She danced with her audience, interviewed some of the biggest names in the world, and gave away millions of dollars in prizes and donations. For millions of fans, Ellen wasn't just a talk show host. She was a symbol of joy and positivity. But in recent years, that carefully built image has crumbled, leaving Ellen in a heartbreaking position as she faces the decline of her reputation and the painful consequences of her choices. The tragedy of Ellen's story lies largely in the collapse of her public image. For years, her brand was built on her famous motto, "Be kind." Yet in 2020, shocking allegations surfaced that behind the scenes of her show, the environment was anything but kind. Former staffers described a toxic workplace filled with fear, intimidation, and misconduct. The revelations spread like wildfire, dominating headlines and sparking outrage. Fans who had once adored Ellen felt betrayed, and the industry began to distance itself from her. The accusations not only shattered her credibility, but also stained the very values she had spent years promoting. Professionally, the fallout was devastating. Ratings for her show plummeted, advertisers pulled out, and the once unshakable daytime empire began to crumble. In 2022, Ellen announced the end of her show after 19 seasons, officially closing a chapter that had defined much of her career. For someone who had once stood at the very top of Hollywood, the downfall was swift and brutal, but the tragedy runs deeper than her career. Ellen's personal life also suffered under the weight of public backlash. Known for her groundbreaking courage in coming out as gay in the 1990s, an act that nearly ended her career but later cemented her as a cultural pioneer, Ellen's legacy should have been one of resilience and progress. Instead, the controversies overshadowed her achievements, leaving her to grapple with the reality that her decades of hard work had been undone in just a few short years. Those close to her have said that the backlash took a heavy toll on Ellen's mental health. For someone who built her life around making people laugh, being vilified by the very public that once adored her was emotionally crushing. She withdrew from the spotlight, choosing a quieter life with her wife, Portia de Rossi, away from the constant glare of cameras. While retirement may bring her peace, it has also forced her to reckon with the fact that her once golden reputation may never be restored. Ellen's story is tragic not only because of the controversy, but because of what it reveals about the fragility of fame. She was once a trailblazer, paving the way for LGBTQ+ visibility in Hollywood, a woman who risked everything for authenticity. Yet in the end, her own legacy was clouded by scandal and disillusionment. The contrast between who Ellen was at her peak and where she stands now at 67 is stark and deeply heartbreaking. The tragedy of Ellen DeGeneres serves as both a cautionary tale and a reminder. No matter how high a celebrity rises, their image can collapse overnight. For Ellen, the woman who once made the world laugh, the silence that now surrounds her career is perhaps the saddest ending of all.